I ended the call. My insides ached, a cocktail of chemicals attacking me. I'd lost a client. My main client. The one that brought in the most money. That alone was bad, but after the month I'd had, I was done. I wanted to quit, roll over, surrender. My mind spiraled. You're a failure. You are not worthy. You are not enough. You never will be. Previously on the No Hustle, we dove deep into the 7 stages of failure and looked at the first 2, shock and pain. If you missed it, click the video on your screen or the link in the description, and make sure you do, because chronology matters to a writer like me. Seriously, don't be the person who starts a book in the middle. So, the way this video started, a peek into one of my own failures and hardships. It touched you in some way, I'm sure. You are human, after all, so empathy likely rose to the surface, made sure you felt. Maybe stirred a memory. Maybe you could relate. Maybe you can relate, not from some past event, but because that's where you are right now. It's okay. As we ended the last video, pain is part of the process. You cannot control the emotion, but you can control, to an extent, what happens next. That's the focus of today's video as we venture into stage 3 and beyond. But it ain't plain sailing, let me tell you. Welcome to stage 3, bargaining. This is the point where you start to deal with all the pain and other emotions. The problem is that we don't tend to do a very good job of processing it. In bargaining, we often turn to blame. Sometimes we blame ourselves. Other times we blame someone else. We point the finger. We twist pain into frustration, anger, and spite. Or maybe you bury your head in the sand. This was my go-to solution for most of my life. Pain, no. Don't want that. I'll just suppress it and crack on. Pretend there isn't an issue. Make myself busy. So busy I can't think. This is bargaining, my friend. Be it with yourself or the devil. There's no solution here. No meaningful action. The less time you spend here, the better, because it's a place of holding. It is purgatory. You're clear on nothing other than the fact you don't want to feel the pain anymore. And whether you cater to this by keeping yourself busy and grinding the gears, or you bury your head under the sheets and refuse to come out, or if you get angry and hate the world or yourself, well, the impact is the same. Nothingness. Nothing happens here. And the longer you spend here, the worse the next step gets. Depression. That's stage 4. In the book, I talk about this feeling like you're in a pressure cooker. Everything that comes before you in the first 3 stages builds up. It may last days, weeks, months, or longer. And as it builds, that pressure within gets intense. This is the point where it erupts. The after effect, well, that depends on you and the situation. Depression doesn't always center around unhappiness and tears. Sometimes it's apathy, lethargy, utter disdain at the world. You may feel seemingly everything in this stage, or barely anything at all. Depression takes on many forms, and like most things in life, it isn't binary. It is a spectrum where you can flip here and there, from mild to severe. And look, I don't wish to place a positive light on this stage, because as someone who has suffered from depression, I don't say the word lightly or undervalue it. But while interviewing those 150 plus people for the successful mistake, I learned that it's often this stage, a state of depression in some guys, that ignites growth. This is your rock bottom in the journey. Whether it represents the rock bottom in your life depends on the failure. But in this journey, this is the point where the only direction is up. It's when you let go, ask big, important questions, quit bargaining, and accept the situation. Turn to people you can trust and let them in. Turn to yourself and retreat within. This whole journey, the 7 stages of failure, it's like there are 2 doors and a hallway in between. In the first few stages, you're behind door number 1, the previous chapter in life, the period that will soon be past tense. At some point you open the door, but only just a mere crack. While you're in depression, you just stand there in front of the door, not ready to step through into the hallway. But here in stage 5, the tipping point, you step through and take a seat in this hall to catch your breath and figure it out. This tipping point can take on a few forms. A light bulb moment, maybe, an aha, or red car syndrome as you start to notice several little signs in a short period of time. A conversation with the right person at the right time, or the right book, video, podcast, or article. It's when the clouds part and you can start to see a hint of a solution. There is no solution, of course, not in the hallway. But there is another doorway, and behind door number 2 lies the next chapter of your life. In the 3rd and final video of the series, we open it and step through it. If you watch this in the future, it's on your screen now, and the link is in the description. Whereas if you're watching this shortly after publication, well, you should subscribe to the channel, as YouTube will notify you the moment it lands. I mean, you should subscribe either way, of course, so hit that button now. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being part of this journey. I hope you find clarity in the 3rd and final installment. And of course, and as always, thank you for being you.